How to tap into your personal magic. Stay tuned. Damon here from NLP Gym. NLP Magic. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. So this word magic gets thrown around a lot in NLP. NLP Magic. The first NLP book actually was called The Structure of Magic, and that was before NLP even had the name NLP. And magic has been this recurring theme in NLP. And if you look at the definition of magic, it's always about the apparent use or influence of events or influence of people through supernatural means. This word apparent you'll find in most definitions of magic. And that should tell you something right there. Magic is apparent. It's not necessarily proven or real. If you think about it, what is magic? And the other key word to this is supernatural. So supernatural is a word that we add a lot of meaning to, a lot of times the wrong meaning, and we load it with a lot of meaning. It's a little overdone, in other words. Supernatural just means that science has yet to be able to explain what supernatural is. So let's go back to the word apparent. When you watch a magician on stage, you go to watch this because it's entertaining to see what looks like someone who's defying the laws of physics. And we know that there is a magic trick to this. There is a trick behind it. And that if we knew what it actually was, the answer to it or the trick to it would fall right in the lines of the laws of physics. The entertaining part is we want to be mystified, but at the same time we still know that there's a logical explanation for it. Now supernatural is this idea that it's just not something that we know how it works yet. The word supernatural is just explaining something that science cannot explain yet. At one time, it was the tide. The tide of the ocean was something that was supernatural. We couldn't explain it. The sun rising and setting was supernatural because we didn't know how it worked. It just sort of did. So it looked like apparent magic. If you think about what athletes are able to accomplish today versus, say, 100 years ago or 200 years ago, that seems supernatural. If you take away the progression that we've watched as athletes have gotten better and better using science, it all makes sense. But if you took away that progression and you took one of our star athletes of today and put them in a time machine and brought them back to, say, 200 or 300 years ago, what they would be able to do would look supernatural to the people 200 or 300 years ago. If you think about the 4-minute mile, which I believe was achieved somewhere in the 1950s, before that no one had achieved it and thought that it was impossible. To achieve that, in a sense, would be supernatural. But shortly after the person who broke that record and ran the first 4-minute mile, 3 months later, 5 months later, several more people did the same thing. So what seemed supernatural, maybe impossible before, suddenly was possible because somebody had done it. So more people started to do it. Before the human potential movement in the 1970s, a lot of people operated from the assumption that to do something extraordinary, you had to be born that way, or it was just sort of happenstance. It was just unexplainable, and if you did extraordinary things, it looked like magic to us because we couldn't do it, and we just accepted that we couldn't do it. Certain select people wouldn't take that for an answer. If they wanted something bad enough, they found ways to create it. And while the other people looked at that as being extraordinary and impossible for them, the human potential movement and NLP decided to change their assumption and made the assumption, and this is one of the presuppositions in NLP, is that if it's possible for someone, or if it's possible at all, it's possible for me. So if someone else is getting extraordinary results somewhere, it's not magic. There is a logical process to this, just like a magic trick. There is a logical explanation for this. And what NLP does is it goes in and models that person, figures out how they're thinking about how they're doing what they're doing. It chunks the process down into smaller bite-sized pieces so that you can create a step-by-step model and a strategy to achieve what other people are achieving that we consider extraordinary. You possess this inner magic within you. And if you think about times when you did things in your life that felt magical at the time, a lot of times now, if they become commonplace, we take them for granted. They seem like commonplace things. Think about the first time you rode a bike without training wheels. That was a magical experience. I know it was for me. Or think about the first time you won some sort of competition or some sort of game. I've felt that, like the first time I won something, it was absolutely magical. And it seemed like it just happened. Even the first time I rode a bike, even though I had practiced with training wheels, the day that those training wheels came off and I started riding without training wheels, it felt magical, and it felt like it was just sort of happening. Like, sure, I was a part of the process, but I wasn't really creating it. That's the kind of magic that NLP seeks to model and create a process out of. When you operate under the assumption that if something is possible in the world, it's possible for you, now you got to do something. You have to do something about it. There's no more excuses. Think about something you want that may seem impossible to you, but you know that other people have achieved it. That's what NLP is there for. You have a methodology, you have a system, a way of breaking that process down and being able to replicate it and to create those results for yourself. You have this extraordinary technology called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, that you can use to tap into your own personal magic. Check out our website, nlp-gym.com. Follow us on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops that we have, like this last one that I'll be teaching, the last NLP Gym workshop for the year, NLP Values Elicitation and Hypnotic Installation. Make sure you sign up for that. We only have a few more weeks to go before that happens. That's October 22nd and 23rd. If you follow us on Facebook, you'll see free practice sessions that we hold nearly every single Saturday here in Santa Cruz. If you like this video, click like right down here and leave me a comment or even a question. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned. A little bit later at the end of this video, you will see there's an opportunity to get your hands on a free NLP training. Take care.